Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to finally be able to communicate with you from Israel, from the Alexander Muss High School. We arrived Wednesday morning, Baruch Hashem, and spent the day in orientation, introducing our students to the program that's lying ahead of them, acclimating them to the campus and to the local area. We hit the ground running on Thursday morning after a well deserved night's sleep and began a day of academics with the Startup Nation session of the general manager of HP, Alon Barshani, continue to their history classes, Ivrit classes, their first morning Joe session with Sefi Kraut, their first film class with director Katie Green, as well as a phys ed session where some of our students chose running, some of our students chose strength building, and some of our students chose to do a yoga session. Last night, they had the opportunity and the privilege to go out into town and explore what the local Hod HaSharon has to offer them. I want to give you some highlights of what's coming up next week. We have a jam-packed week next week filled with academic programming as well as trips. They're going to be going on a trip to Gezer on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, the 9th graders are going to Sach, while the 10th graders are going to Dialogue in the Dark. On Wednesday, they're going to be going to Gilboa and Har Tzofim, and on Thursday in Yerushalayim together. So it's a jam-packed week with a lot to do. There's also privileges next week on Sunday evening as well as Tuesday evening, and next Shabbat, of course, is their open Shabbat. I want to end off by sending you a small message about this week's parasha, Parashat HaShoftim, that ties beautifully into something that they were learning in class. When they were doing their morning Joe session with Sefi Kraut spoke to them about the idea of having intellectual humility, the recognition that the absolute truth really only exists with God, and as human beings, the most that we can do is discover 49 reasons for something and 49 reasons against something, as the Midrash tells us. The intellectual humility that's necessary in order for us to be able to truly hear somebody else's perspective, to entertain the idea that we might be wrong, or perhaps maybe there's something that the perspective of the other can offer me that I would have never been able to see. This is exactly what it says in this week's parasha, as it says, "You shall not judge unfairly, and you shall show no partiality. You shall not take bribes, for bribes blind the eyes of the discerning and upset the plea of the just." This idea of shochad, this idea of bribery, is not something that's only true to judges. It's something true to each and every single one of us as we make judgment calls, as we formulate our opinions. The ability to truly see our own biasness and to have the intellectual humility of being able to entertain the idea and the perspective of the other as we become empathic listeners, and not be bribed or not be blinded by our own convictions, is a deep message that I could only wish and pray that our students embody. I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and I can't wait to report to you again next week, again here from Israel at JLA Ba'aretz.
Why are you doing it for a full month and not for a week or for 10 days? Kids who do not know each other at all. I guarantee you that a month from now when you come back, it'll be like you've known each other for a lifetime. That we could spend the first month of a Jewish state school here in Israel. We can. So we are. So your job, 9th and 10th graders, is to capture what we call the Avira de Ara, the spirit of the land, and bring it back with you.
I am the director of the what's called Machloket Matters project, and I'm very excited to get to learn with you. We're going to have 5 sessions together. This is the first, tomorrow is going to be the second, and I'm excited to see what we come up with together in exploring some of the ideas that Rabbi Albo mentioned. Oh, from your conversation you decided to move? Yeah. Oh, interesting, interesting. Ooh, if everything is carved in stone, then we don't ask any questions. Why do you think questions matter? Questions get you to dig deeper, find meaning, you said. Yeah. Okay, so we could see why God wants to keep things somewhat flexible so that humans can invest themselves in it. We never know a human being can ever see it all or know it all.
My personal observations on the Israeli high-tech industry, 25 years in a company called Indigo, which was an Israeli startup acquired by HP. So I spent 25 years there, of which 16 I was the general manager. And over the last 3 years I've been involved with startups, because at the end we're a country of immigrants or children of immigrants or grandchildren of immigrants, and this is very fundamental to who we are. And also, I think, to the startup nation. You have to be able to process conflicting views sometimes in order to really understand the picture.